Welcome everyone. Today's Metal3 Community meeting. My name is Adam Rosman, and I will be your host today. Today is the 3rd of April, 2024, and I see, I think, a few new participants in the participant list. So, if you'd like, you can introduce yourself. Okay, if not, I have not heard anything. It's fine completely. Him, someone is speaking. No? Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Hi.
Pierre Crégueux from Orange, but I attended 1 or 2 meetings before on Dash CPLS.
Yeah. I remember you, Pierre. I was not thinking about you, but it's fine. Let's continue. So onto the reminders. Please don't forget that the meeting is recorded. If you would like to have the project, and those who are watching the recording, if you would like to have the project, check out the issues in any repository of the project that has the help wanted label. There are a bunch of these that has the good first issue. We have been delighted to see that few contributors have picked up the good first issue ones, and that's a big help for the project. If you think that you would like to support by the Metal3 project by adding your organization as a official adopter, then you can do it by creating a pull request and editing the adopters.md file in the root of the community repository. If you have any issues with the CI, then just create an issue, and you can add the Metal3 CI Flake Tracker project, attach it to your issue, and then we will be able to track that more efficiently. And then if you're interested in the maturity level of the project, feel free to read the incubation proposal that we have submitted last year to the CNCF, TOC, and then also the devstat or the CLO monitor page of the project, and then any other CI related sites like Way, Jenkins, Prow, and so on. I think we don't have other reminders from previous meetings. So I see that there is no mention of any progress in the Ironic Scalability group. Let me check the participants. I think only Ricardo who might know something about this. Is there some info you mentioned last time that you or Dimitri has to review the fake IPA at some point?
Yeah, actually, it was reviewed and we're waiting for updates.
Thanks. I will just write it down. Thank you very much. Is there anything from the release team?
Just from me, I'm actually preparing the release for Ironic Image right now. So after the meeting ends, I'm going to add the release. This is going to be tied to a stable release, since upstream we've just created a stable 2024.1 branch. So it's going to be supported for a little bit longer.
That sounds good. Yeah, I remember the discussion. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I guess from other members of the release team, there's not much happened so far this week. Okay, so we can continue to the discussion topics, unless there is someone who would like to comment on the scalability or the release team activities.
I was actually eager to know if we are ready to do a minor release from BMO, but I think I pinged Dimitri and there was only, I think, one PR that is now needed to land before we can actually have a minor release, or at least have a better release for a minor release for the BMO, just for the update.
Oh, thanks, Kashif. What will be the number of this one, just to be able to write it down? Do you remember?
I think 0.6.
Yeah, 0.6 should be.
Thanks. Cool, thank you. Okay, we can then progress to the discussion topics. And there is only one from Yuri.
Yeah, not really. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay, so it's just like if anyone is interested in see how the firmware updates will be handled on the BMO side, this is the pull request with the controller and CRD. So if anyone is interested in take a look, just go ahead.
Thank you very much. This looks like a big change, and it's
Yeah.
yeah, and it's quite an useful functionality that has arrived to the MetaCube. I was checking it on the Ironic side a little bit, just reading about this. It'll be interesting to see that. Oh, yeah, quite how this was implemented. Actually, I'm not even sure I would be the good person to review this.
Yeah, no worries. Dimitri already provide like a lot of feedbacks. Just wonder like people from other companies if they are interested in providing feedback to it. That's it basically.
Yeah, that would be good to get some other people's opinion, because I think it's mostly you and Dimitri who are collaborated on this one.
Zane provided a few feedbacks and that's it. So only head folks basically.
Yeah. Yep. So anyone who is interested, please take a look. It's a very powerful feature, in my opinion, to be able to update the firmware of. If in this current implementation, it's the firmware of the BMC, and
We
is
only
the
support so far, BIOS and BMC, but we have plans to expand this further. It's just like, okay, let's make this work, and then we are going to look at Redfish on what else we can provide for the end user to be updated, based like NICs and so on.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds awesome. Is there anyone who has any questions related to this? We have time. Okay, if no one has any questions, I see, Ricardo, you're editing the release info. Thanks. Is there any other topic that anyone would like to discuss? This week we don't have triaging. We had that last week. I don't know if we discussed last week. Yeah, we discussed the standalone operator also. So if there's no more topics that you would like to discuss, then I think that's all for this week. And yeah, I see a raised hand.
Yeah, just I think Dimitri mentioned a demo of BMC tests at last week's meeting. Tudor was going to do that if there was time, I think. I don't see Dimitri here, so he didn't add it to the agenda. So
Okay, then we can do it. Yeah, I remember it was mentioned last week. So Tudor, you will do it right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I will just write it down, and I can release the screen share. 1 second. Okay, not sharing.
Okay, you can see my screen all right?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, so Dimitri asked me to demo this tool that we developed for ourselves. It's called BMC Test. You can find it on GitHub here. The point of the tool is to test BMC's compatibility with Ironic as far as it has been developed so far. I will run the tool, but because it takes a few minutes during the runtime, I will briefly show you the shell script, which is very short and very simple. So this is the script. What it does is download Fedora image, which it will use to provision the Ironic nodes. I guess I should show you the config first. So this is the config for the tool. It's a list of servers which with their details, the addresses, the usernames, and so on. And the tool itself. So the tool downloads, I said, ISO image. It starts somewhere in here. It installs some dependencies. Then it runs on a container where it starts Ironic, the Ironic client, and an HTTP server for the ISO image. And after that, it runs some tests. The test that it has so far, it's that a server is manageable. So the BMC is manageable for different drivers, which so far I have Redfish, iDRAC, and ILO. It tests that it can power on and off each server, that it can boot off certain virtual media, again for the same drivers, iDRAC, Redfish, and ILO. Then it tests that it can change the boot device. And after that it can eject the virtual media. And it does this in parallel for all the servers, and afterwards it outputs a summary of the test. And optionally, if there are any errors, it saves the Ironic log to the current working directory. Okay, so this is where the tool is running. We already have the output for the HTTP server. Everything was a success. The Dell and the ZT that I have in the config will also success of everything. Unfortunately, I don't have I had a super micro which failed the booting from the virtual media for this demo purposes, but I don't have access to it anymore. And this is a very fast demo of this tool, presentation of this tool. I understand it has some interest to you, so if there are any questions or I don't know.
Yeah. So I can give some background. Thank you for the demo. It's a very useful looking tool. So the discussion was sparked during KubeCon between a few of us and Dimitri. and he because we were approached by users or people who were interested in the Metal3, and they were asking about this sort of hardware test. So like specifically BMC test, there was at least one person, and then after that we started to discuss that what options we have, and Dimitri mentioned this, and he even floated the idea that we would even like take over this, so like that you would donate it to the Metal3 project, but it was just an idea that was floated. So I wanted to ask that how is the like I seen that this is part of like the OpenShift organization on GitHub, if I catch that correctly. So what's the future plan for this? So are you planning to maintain this, or like would you be willing to donate this to the Metal3, or was there any discussion related to this?
Yeah, I just briefly spoke with Dimitri about this, and he said he was thinking about the default option of the main being in the Metal3 and the OpenShift being a fork of that. So how the tool was thought from the beginning was what with this shell script, which I showed you before, BMC test, which is upstream compatible. And I have another shell script, OCP BMC test, which is a wrapper of the BMC test with the OpenShift specifics. So forking this and having it upstream, just the upstream part is very simple. I'll just discard the OpenShift files and just have BMC test. So it's very easy. And yeah, as I said, Dimitri was thinking of this being in Metal3 and the OpenShift one being a fork of this.
Yeah, this will require some discussion, but I'm absolutely supportive of this. Of course, maybe on next meeting when Dimitri is here also, we can even discuss this further. But first question, this is to the community. Is there anyone right now, because there are quite a lot of us here, so is there anyone who thinks this would be a bad idea? One thing that I would like to add, that we have in the Metal3 project a utility repository that is there to collect container like Docker files and the scripts that relate to the individual containers, and these scripts and containers are utility containers. So for example, we have one right now for building Pixie firmware on the fly, Pixie firmware, and we plan to move a few other things in the future there. So this would fit there nicely, in my opinion. Does anyone have some thoughts about this? Yeah, from Kashif, I see you have commented that it looks very useful and +1. Anyone else? Anyone who would object? Okay, so at the moment it seems that nobody has any issue with it. What would be the process of transferring this one? With whom should we discuss this? Is it just you, Tudor, or is there someone else?
To be honest, yeah, contributing to this tool is just me. But to be honest, I'm not very familiar with the Metal3 project and anything related to that. So I guess Dimitri is the best person to answer these kind of questions.
Okay, and then I guess we will continue the discussion with Dimitri and ping you also if it's needed. Thank you for the demo once again. I will reshare my screen just quickly because I want to Okay. Yeah. Interesting. It's okay. Nice. Started sharing. Okay. You should be seeing the screen, and so if I go to the MetaCube, that's and I will show you what I was thinking about. There is this utility images repository. So far, it's just the pixie builder, but basically, you can read about the basic idea that it's a repository that contains source code for container images that are utilities. And right now we have one, and this one could fit nicely next to it. So that would be my plan, but I'm of course open to any suggestion.
I was thinking like if it's a test, can we make it a part of BMO test, or it's different? No, it doesn't belong there.
Well, not really, though, because the BMCs are just virtual BMCs, so they are just emulated. So we would not actually test a functionality of a real BMC.
Okay.
I would I think this would be something that like people that want to use MetaCube, they would try to run before installing and testing. Okay, I have this set of machines. Let me see which ones is compatible, and then I will deploy. It's something that would be used. At least in this use case, I don't see other. So I would say it would be a separate report, something like that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I completely agree. It's like just a discovery process when, for example, someone gets a new environment or new hardware, and for the first time, before the first time you would deploy and test your BMC with this. Yeah. Anyone else? Any comment? Okay, then I think we will continue the discussion, and we will include Dmitry. And yeah, I think that was all the topics for this week. The last time I will again ask that, is there any suggestion, problems, improvements, requests, questions, anything that we should still discuss? Okay, if nothing, then thank you for your time and patience, and then let's meet next time the same time, and we will have triaging also. And until then, have a nice week, and bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
man.